Well guys, welcome back. So this is just a weekly update since we didn't get to Pete's house on Wednesday evening because he wasn't feeling well. So, with the way things are going in England, everything has gotten cold and rainy and wet and dark with the time change. I mean, it's dark by 5 o'clock in the afternoon, so, really reduces your motivation to do anything in the winter times here. So the cars are off the road. It's been like foggy every morning, like for the past week. So you get up, go to work, and that's why they have fog lights on the back of European and English cars, because the weather exactly like this. I mean, you can't see 100 yards down the road clearly at all. Especially even like oncoming cars or traffic or anything like that. So drive with your fog lights and remember to turn them out so the people driving behind you don't get blinded when there isn't fog, which a lot of people don't like to do. But opened you up with putting together a set of heads here, small block Chevy heads on a Ford Centric channel. But anyway, just buttoned them up. I was waiting on some shims to come in for the valve springs, because I don't know what the person did before, but they did not shim all the valve springs correctly. So had to get those done to finish up 4 sets of, or just 4 of the last valves. These heads are done, all clean, finished up. I ran them through the blast cabinet. Really made a mess of things, but I just had to clean them out. So it'll be a nice set of heads. So everybody should be happy to get these back. I'm gonna actually message him here this evening. He may come back by tomorrow, pick them up. But a lot of other things we did to these heads is went to the machine shop and we got the I pulled the old pressing studs out, and the machine shop had them mill the surfaces here for where the studs are down, and then you buy yourself a little $16-17 tool like this, and what you do is you use this like a guide and you push it into the hole for this stud, and you can see it's like threaded in there, possibly, I don't know if you catch the light on it, but you run a tap in, and then what I do is I actually clamp this to the head with a big C-channel vice grip, just to hold it perfectly flat to the machine surface. And then you run your tap in. Some of them you'll go through all the way, and the other ones you'll have to use like a bottoming tap and just finish out the threads. Put your guide plates on, torque your studs down, and you don't have to pay a machine shop to do it if you're careful, and you could take the time to do it yourself correctly. So yeah, just a little simple tool like that, and the proper taps, and you can do that yourself. It works the same thing on a small block Ford. You just usually have to, in the States anyway, you don't need to tell them what heights to put these at. But over here, I had to get all kinds of crazy measurements for them to tell them where to machine it and how to machine it, because they just unfamiliar. They just don't know. But yeah, got new seals. The guys were good because they've been replaced before. The springs are now all set up properly to the correct height, and he's ready to get these suckers back. So I got him some poly locks. So instead of using like the friction nuts, so he's got tall enough valve covers that these will work just fine. So these are not too expensive, but definitely reusable, and better than the friction nuts, because those things can get loose over time. So got him some set of new spark plugs to run with it, and yeah. So I'll get back with him here in a little bit, and I'll be probably picking him up this afternoon, or probably picking him up this weekend or tomorrow. So, but yeah, if you don't have yourself an automatic pneumatic spring compressor, you don't know what you're missing, because they work great and they save so much time. So, but yeah, so in the doldrums in England, if you look, both trannies, both were for sale. Both no sales, because nobody's serious. If you've heard in the news, to thank everybody in the country for doing their part during the lockdown pandemic, they decided to up their taxes like England does. That's why we had ourselves a tea party in America. So everybody's cost of living is going to go up by, well, my tax rate is going to go up by 4% next year, or as soon as they do it. So Fuel's going up, groceries are going up, utilities are going up, electric's through the roof already. And I don't know how these people can do it. I'm here in the country making money, looking forward to going back to the States and, you know, building a house and things like that. And it's getting to the point where I don't even know if it's worth staying here, because the money just is not what it was even a couple of years ago when I got here. So, man, tough times in the UK for us guys. So yeah, nobody's got any money to want to spend. So here they sit. You get like people that like, oh, I'll trade you your small block bell housing and your block plate and this and that and the other thing, and I'll give you one from a big block and it'll do this and that. It's like, well, one, the big block bell housing won't fit a T5. Two, why would you put a T5 behind a big block? I mean, people are just dumb. And they're like, I'll just trade you. You know, I won't give you any money or anything like that, Tor. I'll make this unsellable because you don't have this to go with it anymore. It's like, so you're like right back to, well, hey, why don't you buy everything and then you could divvy it up and, you know, to however your heart desires, and you try to sell the bits after the fact. And then crickets. So, but there's people like that all over the place, but it's here worse than most. So, but yeah. So I'll hang on till next year. Maybe the exchange rate will go up and maybe I'll get more money for them after all. But I am in no hurry to sell them. So that's probably why they're still sitting here. But yeah, just people just don't have money to spend right now. So the only other thing we got going on, since it's the winter, cars are off the road. I got myself a little C-Tech battery tender. So I just disconnected it and plugged it back in, make sure it was everything good. But if you ever had like these chargers before, they're really great for storage. You could find a lot of stuff online about them, but it's not just like a standard trickle charger where it just charges at a specific rate, you know, after you plug it in, because, you know, a bathtub eventually gets full and then it will spill over. But this kind of analyzes the battery. It's got like this is only like a super low 0.8 amp hour charging capacity, which is all I need to keep a battery, you know, decent throughout the off season. So you can see it plugs in, it analyzes it, then it charges at the 0.8 amps for a bit, and then it lowers the charge to like a different kind of state, and then I think it waits a certain amount of time, then checks it like every 10 days or something like that, and if it falls below a threshold, then it'll charge it back up again. But if it, you know, if it doesn't meet the threshold, it charges it. If it does meet the threshold, it just kind of goes back to another 10-day waiting period and then tries again. So you're not constantly charging a battery that's full and it doesn't need it. So, but yeah. So they didn't want to buy a 220 volt one, but I don't want to run a transformer to run it either. But it'll be good for the time I'm here. I just went and started the 2012 Mustang, let it run, let it warm up for a while. It hasn't been driven since I washed it, you know, a couple weeks ago with the snow foam video that I put out, because the weather's just been too lousy. So, waiting on parts, waiting on people, waiting on things. But yeah, the only thing I got is I got a couple of the steel input shaft bearing retainers, because I ordered these when I was putting the other T5 together. But the aluminum one came from LMR before these ones came from Summit. So, but I got these on the shelf because I got more transmissions to build in the future. But that's it. So, sorry, no real hardcore content, but just an update for my buddies in the States and channel subscribers. Want to know what's going on, but hopefully we'll get back to Pete's this week if he's feeling better. And we'll give you some more good stuff. So thanks for sticking with me, and I'll catch you guys soon.